Are you a South African musician trying to figure out how to send a good music-related email? Welcome to this episode where I plan on demystifying just that. Cue the intro. What's up, it's your boy Skill from skillmusicsa.com and welcome to my channel where I share information with my fellow South African musicians to help them improve on their music business. If this sounds interesting to you, please do consider subscribing. In this video, I'm going to show you step by step on how to construct a good music related email to help your emails get to the respective person you're sending your emails to. I did make a video showing you the mistakes that you should avoid, so I'm not going to include all of that information. I will just leave a link to that video in the description below, but to make this easier to show you how to construct this email, I'm going to head to my PC and show you step by step how to construct a good music related email. So the very first thing is when you're sending an email, you want to send it from an email account that is legit and does not look dubious. So if you look at my email address, info@skillmusicsa.com, there's no hashtags, there's no $signs, there's nothing crazy in the email address, so it automatically presents itself as professional. So the first thing is make sure your email address is a legit music orientated one. So I've highlighted that in a previous video. So in the subject, you don't want to leave this empty, and the subject is the first thing anyone will see. So I'm going to give you an example of, let's say you're submitting to radio, of a good subject heading. So music submission consideration for skill. Music submission for playlisting, sorry. At Skill Music SA. Okay, this radio station doesn't exist, but you'd notice it'll tell you exactly what the email is, what's inside. So it's a music submission, what is for playlisting, and then for where it will show. So I've covered three main: who, what, where, etc. So this is typically how you want to structure a subject. You want it to tell what it is, for what purpose, and for where. Three of those should be covered. If the who and etc. should be in the subject of the actual email, but but the subject must be concise. You must have the actual name of a radio station, or if you're submitting to a publisher, the name of the publisher, or if you're submitting to a blog, the name of the blog. This shows that it's not a generic spam and dump type of email. Also, another important thing, you send an email to one recipient, not multiple radio stations, just one. It's cumbersome, but you have to send it to just one person. It shows that you are actually doing a tailored pitch to that specific person. So let me send it to my other email address. Yeah, let me actually show you what that email address is. See, this was my first email address, sonokinetic@gmail.com. It is a clumsy email. I used to send with this one, and I can guarantee you, like, good 50% of the time the emails weren't going through because of the name of it, sonokinetic@gmail. Sonokinetic ill is what skill stands for. So that's why I use sonokinetic@gmail. But as you can see, it's a clumsy email address. So that's why I got my own one. But anyway, I'm digressing. So look, what's up, my fellow independent musicians. But okay, so now the very first thing is you want to send it to a specific person. So if you're submitting to a radio station, find out who that compiler is. So you never have to say to whom this may concern, because you're sending this email to a specific person. A good way to try find who these compilers is to call the radio station and ask for the music compiler, and then they'll give you the name, and then you send that email to that person, even if you don't know if the email will get to them. So since I'm sending to skillmusicsa.com, I don't have a radio station, so don't send to me. So you say something like, dear, since it's somewhat formal, you don't know the person personally yet, or you can play it by ear if you've got them on the phone before. But if you don't know the person, it's the first interaction. A dear or whoever is a good way. So I say, dear Skill, Okay, so you've covered the addressing, how you're addressing the person. You're not saying to whom this may concern. You've made it personal. Dear Skill. So you're acknowledging it's a person and not a robot that's receiving. The next thing that you want to cover is that you want to tell the person what you are, who you are, and what you want from them. Who you are, what you do. Sorry, who you are, what you do. Okay, so hello, hi, my name is Skill, and I'm a musician looking for playlisting. Like looking for playlisting at insert Skill music essay. See, one sentence, done. I've told you who I am, what I do, and what I want from you. Okay? Now, depending on the type of submission, this may or may not apply. So what I typically like doing is complimenting whoever is receiving. So let's go. I'm looking for. Okay, so usually when I'm submitting to a radio station, I already know the person that I'm already sending the email to because I have called or I've built a relationship with that person. So I would say something along the lines of, thank you for accepting our phone call earlier today. So you're telling them that you have actually interacted with them before. You're not a stranger to them. They should know who you are. They probably won't remember you, but you're reminding them that you have spoken to them before. And you have to actually speak to them before. Thank you for accepting my phone call earlier today. Then you compliment them. I really appreciate your professionalism or whatever. I really appreciate your professionalism. So you've complimented them, you've told them you've met, and you've complimented them. This 2 lines maximum. Now you have to give them what they asked for. So depending on where you're submitting, they usually tell you on how to go about submitting to that specific opportunity. So recently I've been submitting to music publishers and they have different things that they request for you to submit. So you have to follow what they want, the details that you want. So typically you tell them, here's as requested, here's the information you requested. You see, you're telling them as advised. You can say as advised or as discussed is a good one. As discussed. Yeah. As discussed. So you're telling them that we've spoken about what I'm sending you already. So they don't feel like it's a totally like, you don't want an email to seem cold like you're spamming. This is a very it's a personal, almost you've built a relationship with the person. So you're telling them, okay, as discussed, here's the information you requested. So then over here in this section, this is where you put in the information they said you must add. So if they're requesting an ISRC code, you put that in. If they requested the name of the track, your SAMRO work number, there's several things that all these radio stations say that you must give them in order to playlist you. So you add that information. But that will change depending on what the submission is. Okay, so I'm not going to add anything where I put it X, but then after you've added in the subject, you want to add a little more personal feel again. So you say, thank you again for your time. Thank you again for your time. And I look forward to your response. Kind regards, Skilligan. Okay. The email is fairly short. What you'd notice, the email is short. There's no waffling. I'm not telling the person about my career. I'm not telling them I have manager. I've got lots of plays. I'm not giving them excuses about why this email is coming in late. I'm just telling them, who I am, what I do, what I want, giving them a compliment, reminding them that I've spoken to them, reminding them again that I've spoken to them, giving them the information, and I've said thank you for their time. I've acknowledged the person is a human that's receiving. I haven't made this email seem like it's a WhatsApp text. I've given them a heading so they know exactly what's inside the email. And then that's basically the construct of a fairly, like, I wouldn't say this is groundbreaking or excellent or whatever, but this is more or less the formula I use for every email I send, and I actually do have a good response rate with almost everyone I send an email to, except for music compilers. But anyway, don't mind that. Like, music compilers, I've been out of the country for a while, so they've kind of forgotten who I am because I haven't been interacting with them as much as I used to. But anyway, after the kind regards, you want to add in your full name. Like, this is more or less my ID name. And then I have something I say, generally I put it at the end, believe in yourself, because everyone needs a reminder to believe in themselves. And then I add in other information that may have not have been required in the other stuff that they required. So I've got a website, email address, my Twitter handle, Instagram, and Facebook. This is just so they can check that I have some form of buzz or I am actually active on social media. So, but that's basically how you construct a good music related email. I've kind of tailored this one to playlisting because this is what everyone that gets in contact with me asks for, this type of email. But I want to highlight that this, where the X is, this information is I should have actually zoomed in. Hey, sorry. Yeah, there you go. This, where the X's are, this is dependent on what they request at the radio station that you send to them. But yeah, hope you found that useful. That concludes this video, and I hope you found it informative. Don't forget to share it with a friend. As you know, we need each other to help grow as South African independent musicians. But until next time, Skilligan the Hooligan, signing out.